The 9th of December 2024. Now the word is Mercosur. Mercosur. Some kind of Spanish or ridiculous other language. Mercosur. Whatever it is anyway, it doesn't matter. Now, I don't think it's fully finalised, but it was kept back until the election was over. And apparently it's well on the way to being signed. And basis of it is 99,000 tonnes of South American beef will be allowed into the EU. And of course the farmers are all up in arms. It doesn't have the same standards as we do, etc., etc. Now, I have to tell you that beef never was as dear. Beef cattle never were as dear. And lamb and sheep meat and all that mutton is as high as ever was seen. Some producers cannot believe the checks they're getting after selling their sheep and lambs. Now, so it's quite clear that they don't like paying this money and they're trying to get out of it, and they're going to do that by bringing in South American beef. And how are you going to get the same standards in South America as in Ireland, the same standards of animal husbandry and all of that? But key to that is, see, when it was brought out, they didn't mention it a week before the election. They mentioned it a week after the election. On my election manifesto, and my nose is in the paper, mostly paid for by subscribers here, I mentioned about the danger of this Mercosur deal. We had the sugar beet industry in Ireland. The EU issued a directive. There must be something seriously amiss between the EU and native governments. They seem to issue a directive. They never give any advice on the implementation of the directive. And so they issued the directive on the sugar beet, and Mary Coughlin, the Fianna Fáil minister from Donegal, couldn't read it and read it wrong and shut down the sugar beet industry. So that was my point on the election. And I'd say a few people did take it on board, I mean, of my votes, but not enough. So I was up at the farming protest in Dublin a good few years ago outside Leinster House, Kildare Street in Dublin. And the two Healy-Rays came out, the two TDs, and Michael Healy-Ray said, you can protest all you like. You can protest all you like about this. But this is a political matter and you have no political clout. And he said, the reason is, no matter what happens, you're going to vote the way you always did. You're going to vote Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael and Sinn Féin, and no matter what happens. So he went off with himself anyway, and I turned, well, so that's the problem. And several there said, it's nothing to do with that. I said, look at you, and I pointed at one fella. You voted either Fianna Fáil or Fine Gael, and I'd say by the head of you voted Fine Gael. And he hung the head down. And every one of you voted Fianna Fáil or Fine Gael. Every one of you. I don't know you at all. And not one of them stepped up to deny it. So they know they have them. In the last election, it didn't matter what the policies was. If the government was bringing out a new law that would cut the feet of every farmer off, cut one of his feet off if he had 50 acres, and if he had over 100, cut the 2 feet off. And they would hum and haw and give out about it, and they'd drive up to the hospital and they'd ask, would they get a prosthesis, or will we get a wooden leg and all of that, and will we get a grant? But when they'd come into the ballot box, they'd vote a big number one for their candidate, and he'd be either Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, and sometimes Sinn Féin. Now, I very graciously asked people to vote for me in the election, and I know some did. I know whole families who voted for me in Cavan and Monaghan. But they all crossed after that to Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael or Sinn Féin. So they can't be got out of it. In fact, you could argue that the TDs that were elected in this election should be given their pay and not be asked them to go up to the Dáil at all. Just let Micheál Martin and a couple of ministers run the whole thing. Just ring up Brussels and do whatever they say. What is the point of them going up there, heating Leinster House? Why not just run it from one office? Now, Ursula von der Leyen is said to have clinched the deal, and it looks like it's on the way. So as soon as all this 99,000 tonnes of beef comes in, what's it going to do to our product? There you are. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they do. We're powerless because our neighbours will never stop what they do every time there's a general election. Isn't it a sad situation, really? The IFA is the Irish Farmers Association, there's the Irish Creamery Milk Suppliers Association. The Irish Farmers Association would be more for this, for the beef trade. And they had a representative on the radio, I think it was last Friday, a few days ago, and he had the usual story to say about it. There's a big protest in London coming up. The farmers are driving on to London, and there was big protests in Europe. I don't know, will there be protests in Ireland? I don't know. But in any event, this is the problem. No matter what the protest is, and they'll go to blows, they will not stop voting for their ordinary candidate. One of the things that the IFA representative said was that Ireland exports 90% of its meat, of its beef. I'd say that's correct. It'd all be exported. The home market wouldn't keep us going for a moment. We export all over. And because it's very, very good quality, it is excellent quality. You want to see the efforts I have to go with records and everything to make sure. I injected a cow there that had needed an injection, and I had to wait 42 days before I could sell the cow. So that's all right. We put up with that. But the thing is that's what he said, 90%. So if this beef comes in, it's going to target that particular trade itself. It's going to do that. Now, the other thing about the voting for the traditional parties is I will now predict they'll bring in a big, very, very high inheritance tax on agricultural land. Agricultural land is a lot cheaper for inheritance tax. And in England, they're trying to up it again. And for some of the big estates in England, it forced them to sell. So what they're trying to do, and what's going to be done, is they'll stop the farmer selling his land to the son or daughter, or to his nephew or niece, by making them buy it. So instead of paying maybe a nominal tax, I think I paid on my wee bit I got left to me £500 or something. That'll be £500,000. So they won't be able to buy it, and the farm will be sold. And who'll move in? The big wealth funds of the world, the big pension funds. So you'll have BlackRock and Vanguard buying the land and then letting it back to people, and they'll administer that. It'll be like the Circle K filling stations. They'll buy out the locals and they'll run it from there. And we'll only be back to where we were during the landlord periods. We'll be tenants on our land. That's what it is. And that is all stoppable. I had all that on my manifesto. I had that on my election leaflets. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. They don't care. As I said to you, they won't change. They will not change. And I was speaking to a man on this the other day, and we were just chatting, and he made the point that in 1918, the Irish people in Cavan and in Ireland generally voted for the rebels. They elected Arthur Griffith in Cavan to a seat in Westminster. And why did they change? Why did they go over? It was 73% of the electorate voted for pro-Irish national parties. Why didn't they stick with what they had at that time? And the answer, he reckons, is they killed the leaders. If you remember the H-Block protest, there was nobody died. They wouldn't have got anyone elected. But a lot of the H-Block died on hunger strike. A big lot of them, including Kieran Doherty, died on hunger strike. And when they made that sacrifice, they changed the vote to him. And it was the same with the shooting dead of the 1916 leaders, Pearse and Connolly, and the league Thomas Luby, is it, and Thomas McDermott and all them. It was the killing of them. That was the price. And if you look at the Christian religion, Christ died on the cross. He had to give his life, and it was his death on the cross and his torture that brought people to accept Christianity, for better or for worse. So the only way you'll ever get the Irish farmer, the Irish people to change their vote is by dying. Somebody has to die. Now, the day after the election here, a young girl had her throat cut in Wexford, all covered up. We know that there was people beheaded in Sligo, all by these migrants, all dying. But the number's not enough. So I would say you'd need up to, I think, about 8,000 deaths a year in Ireland. No, that's a bit much. No, they won't have that. 800 deaths. I'm just writing it here. 800 deaths a year in Ireland due to the migrant situation, or for any reason. You might get a bit of change. You might get a change. You understand? So the Irishman will not change till he sees death. Indeed, people generally is like that. And I predicted that in 50 years' time, the result of the next election in 50 years' time will be identical to the last one. That's what I believe, unless somebody dies, or unless something outrageous happens. That's the way it is in Ireland, and the farmers are going to be poor. They should be able to exercise a grip on them and not let them do this, but they're not going to give up on this. Merkel wanted her cars sold in South America, and she pushed this. Now the car industry in Germany is nearly finished. Surely she'll want to sell cars into South America, so we'll be on a sticky wicket. And with the new government, they'll have trade by Fine Gael or Fianna Fáil, and they'll hand the whole lot away, and the muggos will go out and vote for them in the next election again. Or if there's a senior politician like of Richard Bruton, he'll leave, and then they'll elect a young lad, and he'll do the very same thing again under Richard Bruton's direction. Do you get the point? Okay, folks, we'll let you go. That's the story. I predict, if you watch them, they haven't a government in Ireland yet, and I would say they may take a while. They'll go over to the EU. Wait till you see the teacher elect or caretaker has been over to meet Ursula von der Leyen, and there'll be a big shake hand and a big hug, and all of those EU commissions. The EU runs the show, and the EU is effectively run by a socialist globalist like George Soros and all of them. We all know that. So they have it in their grasp. And the big trouble they have is Trump. He's kicking the traces, right or wrong. He doesn't go along with this stuff. He's his own man. Right, folks, we'll see you back. Nicely how they didn't announce the South American beef, the Mercosur Deal, or however way you pronounce it, and put a big funny name on it trying to confuse the paddy. And waited till the election was over, and now they introduce it. And it's the same in England with Starmer. They're all up in arms. How do we get this fill in? They voted for him. Enough of them did vote for him, and the farmers voted for the present government in Ireland, and they voted for Kieran Malooly, who went over and apologised that he would never ever hit the climate crack. And don't forget, the climate business comes into this as well, because what they're doing is they'll cut down the livestock in Ireland, and they'll boast our emissions are down, and they'll ignore the fact that it's happening over in Brazil. The emissions will be up over there, and they don't care whether or not it's the same atmosphere or not. They don't care. All they worry about is getting the voters in. And don't mention about the corrupted election or the election was rigged. That's another day's work. I know people who voted for me, told me themselves, we voted for you, but we went off then and voted for Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. I know people who did that, and that happened, and a lot of the votes for them parties were clear to be seen at the Crown Centre, even though there may have been other matters that I'll deal with later. Okay, comment underneath. And now some might say the voters were hoodwinked. They're not hoodwinked. This is the key psychological observation I made. I'm not saying I want it to be like this. I'm saying that the Irish voter will not change no matter what happens to them. No matter what happens to them. And when these people are on their deathbed and they're dying, normally you'd be saying a prayer to go to heaven or something, or saying goodbye to your family. I had an old granny one time, was very close to death, and she told us all, I love you all, she said. That's not what they do. They do say, oh my God, I'll never make it to the next election to vote for my politicians. And they cry over this, and they expire at this world, and that's the last thing is on their mind. It's not their family, it's not their friends, it's nothing. It's Fianna Fáil, it's Fine Gael, and it's Sinn Féin, and it's Labour in Dublin. And that's the way it is, and we might as well accept it. And when you look at it like that, and when they're saying goodbye to their loved ones, they tell them, you must keep voting for the party. They tell them that, and this youngster is left in no doubt about it. And you could get a family of 6 children, and they could be killing each other over the farm estate and whatever, but if they They still will take the instructions from Dowd fella, Dowd daddy, and tell them how to vote, and they'll never quit. That's a strange thing about people. I knew a man who was in a bad dispute with his wife, and he had three sons. No, I didn't. He's not from Cavan. Tell you that. He's not from Monaghan either. He had three sons, and when he was dying of cancer, he called in the three boys, and he made them promise that they'd never speak to their mother again. And two of them did that, and the other one didn't. And the other one speaks to the mother. That is the nature of the human. And the rural Irishman and woman, I know them inside out. And they're the best of people. They help you and everything else. But that's the fact. And this is the political situation in Ireland. It's the last thing on their minds when they leave this world. We'll see you back for something else. Bye, good luck. Thank you.